Hey dudes, what is up? We've got our rather verbosely named HP Colour LaserJet Pro M254dw banging away here on our colour refills and an original HP black cartridge. And in the interests of getting home in time for tea, I'll just call it the M254dw. And you can see the rest of the family that can be refilled in the same way with the same toner on the screen now. Stick around, because I'm going to show you exactly how we've done 8 successful refills up until now and printed 4,087 test prints with those now refilled cartridges. And there are most of them there. We've done a mini study on the carbon footprint implications of reusing your own toner cartridge. The bottom line, a 50% reduction. It halves it. And as far as the price of a refill goes, it's even better news. Click on the iLink top right to see what I mean. Rule number 1, make sure your very low setting is on continue as follows. So if in doubt, press home, then find and press setup on the main menu, then press system setup, then supply settings, then color cartridges, then very low setting, and make sure that the asterisk is on continue, and if it isn't, press continue to put it there. Now on our machine it was already on continue straight out of the box, but this is fundamental, so check it and set it to continue if necessary. Rule number 2, ignore any and all messages about toner levels. Ignore them. So when you notice this message saying yellow cartridge very low, refill the yellow, right? Dude, what did I just say? So just to be clear, ignore it, 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 and just print on, McDuff. Rule number 3, print not up to scratch. Time to print the swatch. Well, it's pronounced swatch, but you know how many words rhyme with swatch? Not as many as you think. So if you have a look at these two balloons, and I'll give you a few seconds to do that, you'll see that in fact they're not quite both the same. The one on the left is sort of fadier, but it probably isn't clear which cartridge is in fact fading out, and we need to know. So that's when you immediately print the fade out swatch. You can Google U refill toner fade out swatch and get this PDF. I'll also put a link to it in the notes below the video. Then, assuming for now that nothing else is wrong with any of your cartridges, if the cyan's truly empty, the blue area only will show signs of fading. If the magenta's truly empty, the orange band will be affected, but not the yellow. Whereas if the yellow's truly empty, the orange and yellow are both always affected. Rule number 4, refill the fading cartridge. The whole fading cartridge and nothing but the fading cartridge, or in the words of the bard himself, Refill what fadeth not, and your refill hopes are down the pot. Not one of his better known quotes perhaps, but it certainly is advice that you want to be following if you want to successfully refill your HP M254dw. And don't forget, you can get the very self-same toner we're using in this video at urefilltoner.co.uk by clicking in the iLink appearing in the top right of the video now. And now we're going to put some more toner into the fading cartridge, the whole fading cartridge, and nothing but the fading cartridge. So without so much as a how do you do, we're going to melt a hole in it. We're doing this with our simple copper melter, also known as the creme brulee method, because we're in the habit of using a chef's blowtorch to do the heating. There's also an electric melting tool if the Jamie Oliver doesn't do it for you. Whichever way you go though, our proposition is basically that we're trying to charge you for melting a hole in your own toner cartridge. Booyah! And when we're refilling an in-box toner cartridge, that is, one of the ones that arrived with the new machine, or a HP standard capacity cartridge with the codes now shown on the screen, then we melted the hole here. In this shot, we've half melted it to better show the position. You don't have to half melt it, but you do have to get it as far as is humanely possible in this exact spot. But in the case that we were refilling an HP high capacity cartridge with one of the codes being shown on the screen now, we'd melt the hole in this position, taking out that HP symbol that you can see there. And once again, we've half melted this hole, but you don't need to do that. So inbox and HP standard capacity cartridges here, but HP high capacity cartridges only here. So then for inbox and standard capacity cartridges, we used a Stanley knife, i.e. a very sharp knife, to cut these petals and open them out like a flower. Ah. And for high capacity cartridges, we got surgeoning with a pair of tweezers and the very sharp blade to cut a hole in the bag and extract the cut piece as shown. Then it's that James Bond moment, shaken, not stirred. I know that's the worst James Bond ever, and incidentally, a dry martini, or at least some form of alcohol, will make you feel a lot better about all of this. Then get the cartridge almost vertical and marry up like this, then lean the whole kit and caboodle back to a lower angle, and that'll get the toner powder flowing in, and you might have to do this shake and pour once or twice, maybe 3 times to get all the toner in. After a bit of a cleanup, get our lie flat plug and drop it into the hole like this. It's designed to drop in completely and not stick out beyond the other sticky outy features in the general area. Then we got some silicone bathroom sealant from the DIY place and put a big bead, like a worm, all the way around the gap. Then, and this is important people, smear that bead down and flatten it into the gap. Comme ça, mes amis. And once again, we want that plug lying flat so it doesn't touch the sides when the cartridge drops in place in the printer. Then we wanged it back in, and here we're printing the instruction booklet for the M254dw in full duplex on our cyan, magenta and yellow refills and a HP original black cartridge. And if I couldn't read that, well, I'd be on my way down to Specsavers, wouldn't I? The M254 family suffers from a very small waste compartment leading to waste streaks. These can be both mitigated and completely cured if you would like, Check pages 7 and 8 of my free PDF instructions to get up to speed with everything to do with waste. I'll put a link to these instructions below the video. Now, if recycling is good, reuse is quite simply brilliant. Quite a few kilograms of CO2 better than recycling, and all the materials are used directly again without needing to be processed or transported. So suffice to say that by refilling your own toner cartridge, you can feel good about yourself, your planet, and all the creatures we share that planet with. Click on the eye link appearing top right to get yourself the weapons of the eco-warrior. I'm going to leave you with a final rapid recap on the route to refilling rapture with the M254 family and some images of the irreplaceable and monumental beauty of our home and its inhabitants. Keep refilling in the free world.